Welcome back to StockSmart. It has been a very busy morning. Now, had you kept up with our channel, you would have known about the bounce around the $41, $42 level. I just took that mark off yesterday. Okay, so let's go down to the 5-minute, 5-day here, and we can see that we did even better. We got it down to 38.76, and then the bounce, all right? So this is what we consider the dip before the rip, okay? Let's check out GME, and we can see that it looks like it also had a low, all right? Now, many stocks are showing up on our lists here. Looks like Arpo, Exela, and Apple, all right? Now, let's go and find what is on our reversals list for today. Let's see if that list is up and working. Holler if you see it. Here we go. And we'll go for the daily. And here we go. Here are the stocks that are running, and some of the ones that are, pushing back now. AMC, Neo, Apple, and they've all been in the, uptrends. All right, now it's time for them to have reversals to the downwards directions. All right, so very good. These are up, reversing down. These are down, reversing up. All right, pretty simple, huh? All right, so let's take our zigzag and get that off of there. And this is our zigzag with our money flows. Now, our money flows have to deal with the money flow index and or crossover, okay? So that lets us know when we have big money coming in and big money coming out, which is really only going to help us find big money retail investors. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. Let's get rid of this. Let's hit OK. All right. So we're still only on 17% there. Let's check this out. All right. And where was my level? My level was 41.42 was where we had a very big TPO gap level. All right, so if we broke that level, this 41.30 or the 41, it's like 41.42 is where I had my mark at, so it was right here. All right, and as you can see, that was a very valid line of support. All right. And you can see how the market makers were able to distort or move price in their direction to collect shares under that value. As you can see, there was a nice expansion just below here, okay? And then it took off. All right. So we got this big low wick, but where was the bottom of that candle there? 39.43, and then they even got it pushed a little lower. So that really was where you were looking, where you were looking for. All right, and how did we find that level? And most importantly, how did we find it weeks before anyone else? All right, so make sure you subscribe, and I'm going to show you right now. That's all I ask. Okay. So we're going to pull out our volume profile, maybe even our TPO profile first. I don't typically mess with the volume profiles too often because I have plenty of volume scripts. Okay. And with the TPO profile, probably somewhere out on the daily or weekly, I was able to see a gap right in there. The next one is at the 34.77. Or 35.35. So that's going to be the next place to buy it. Here's your next support at 29. And here's the top of your next gap at 24.37. Could it push all the way back down to this 463? If it does, everyone will buy it. So, and we've got a nice support here at the 1080 level as well. So from right here at 1484 all the way up here to this 5240 is a very big gap that, so we could expect nearly a fall from this, let's say, 50 level down to this level. All right? You just never know. All right, so with all of the levels drawn here, daily, weekly, all that, and we have our pump and dump cycle pulled up, and our, let's see here, there's the accepted price way up at 56.51. All right, on the 30-minute chart. That is showing us that this right here is pure push-down manipulation, anticipation for the move. All right, what move is that? That's the dip before the rip. How do we find out about that? Okay, well, I'm going to show you. All right. So if you just have your standard Thinkorswim platform, TTM squeeze. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you on both of them. So we'll use standard squeeze. And then we'll use another one of the squeeze indicators I've found out there. All right. One of the most recent is a simple moving average squeeze. Okay. Holler if you see it. There we go. All right. And it's going on exponential. Okay. So let's change that over to simple since we have it named SMA, or we could just have it MA. All right. Hit apply, and you can see what's going on. All right. Except with this one, we have a moving average that tells us when we should be looking. All right. Now, take your squeeze indicator, and you can take it out to 150, 200, 300, whatever. And we'll do the same thing with our SMA squeeze. We'll take this out to a 150. And our moving average length, let's make that 55. All right, now what do we see? We see we really should have considered buying right back here on 3.8, even though we got our pump and dump signal back here on 125. Now this right here is when I queued up on it and said, everyone pay attention, it's going to happen, months and months and months, just wait, hold in there. Had you been part of the channel, you would have known about it, and we would have been riding AMC the whole way. So make sure you subscribe. All right. Now, given that these look entirely the same, okay, even though this TTM squeeze does and is giving a little bit more information, let's get rid of our standard TTM squeeze, and we'll keep the one that we have. All right? Look at that big hammer. Look at that blue dot right there. All right? This blue dot is what's kind of causing that to happen. All right? So we're going to get this big pushback before the move up. All right? And it looks like we tried to break below that level to trick them out of their shares. Okay? And you can see where that level touched was at this gap fill right here. So that was where it went to. Look at the bigger gap down here, and look at the top of the weekly more accepted price of $18.94. Okay. And given earnings is coming up, we could have a push down to earnings and then a gap and go. Okay, we know earnings is going to say the company has way more money than they did. Thanks to us. You're welcome. And now, can we play it accordingly? All right. We see those gaps are still there. They're still valid. Okay. But overall, this typically is a signal to short right here. This signal right here is a signal to short. So unfortunately, on the 4-hour, we are shorting for just a little bit. Now, I can't exactly get the angle of this But let's just say that considering apogee and pedagee, let's see, trying to eyeball that out, and even if it does have a little pushback up, so let's look at somewhere around here. This 719 mid July for a bounce somewhere around here and or here. Okay, so it is getting pushed down. There's nothing we can do about it. That is just the cycle on the 4-hour chart. On the daily, we are slowing down, and we probably will start presenting dark blue bars, at least a couple of them, until we get a push back up. And on the weekly, that's the thing. So will we get one more great day on the weekly? So AMC has a huge way to go up, okay? It can go, I mean, honestly, people say, like, to the moon. I'm not going to say to the moon, but it could go to 100. It could go to 150. It could probably go to 500, given the current position on the weekly. So given the weekly, and if you let the daily and 4 hours play out, AMC could push very, very high. Okay? And I think next week is the week that it's going to happen. You see, because we're sitting on 0 here with this hammer. First blue, all right? The second blue one, or maybe even the third blue one, it's going to pop, and they're going to start covering some of these, shorts. Okay? Very good. I like it. Even though it is on the weekly now way overvalued, but we know that. That's not the problem. All right, it looks like Apple's finally having a little bit of a rest. Actually, it's going back into a pump and dump cycle on the weekly. Bank of America. Let's see what happens when we pop above that 0 there. GE. All right, we're getting the same thing happening here with GE. All right, little pushback. That's that dip before the rip. How deep will that dip be? And I told everyone it was. I've been saying it for a while. All right, you can see we cross above 0, and we get pushed back, pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They managed to hold that one down for a while before they let it go. All right, but once this moving average also gets above this 0, price will take off again, and there's another little hammer. All right, so we are starting to see similar patterns and chartings all over. How about that? That line goes right to that gap. All right. And let's see what we have for Darvis box breakouts and whatnot. It's funny. It doesn't seem we've had our Darvis box, say lists working here recently. Either it's too many of them at one time, or I'm not quite sure. But this is our pump and dump on the weekly, so we can see when forward is being pumped and dumped, and when we should be looking for buying opportunities. Okay. And right now, we should be looking for opportunity. Okay. And we see that big pump and dump cycle right through there. And, of course, this was a stop-loss hunt in both directions before they let the price trend up. It's what we call a dick move. All right. What is holding this list back? 65% volume index. Beta, sizzle. Let's get rid of the beta. We'll keep the sizzle. Darvis box is true. On the daily with 2 million shares. Well, in volume at least. Let's see if that does it, although now we don't have beta in the scan. That was one of my favorite watch lists, too. Nope. All right, let's go over to GME here. And go out to the weekly. And you can see what happened here with GME. All right. This is they're sitting on zero mark. All right. And look what happened the next day. Boom. Blew up from $54, 118 to 125, a high of $483 the very next week. 118, 125. And that's 2-1. Okay, we started to chill off. So we had a bit of a pop. Okay. And then a dip before the rip. All right, and there's your other rip. Okay. Looks like it went to there. Interesting how this one doesn't seem as big as this one does. Although, look at our moving average about to strike back across zero now. And you notice how there isn't much holding this above. It's because they know better. Okay? So, even though on the weekly the more accepted price values are way down here, and we know for a fact it's overextended, that doesn't matter. The current more and average accepted price is like 172.05 here. And it kind of hit that level and wants to bounce. So should it receive the sentiment to get above 207, it's probably just being pushed down below it, just a little bit. See here, way up here is 230. And look how there's nothing there to really hold it back. All right, $513. Check it out. Every single time, there's a big pump and dump. All right. You notice these changes in color and big runs. All right. And we can see if we go cyclically. There we go. Big word for the day. Pull that one off the calendar. And there we go. So we go short from here to probably somewhere in here. All right. A little unfortunate. But let's be watching on the 4-hour chart on GameStop for it to turn. And when it does, you know what to do. All right. Yes, the idea here is to be prepared. Maybe even to do a good turn daily. I believe in that. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we check out that market sentiment. It looks like we are on the 1-minute sentiment list. Okay, greater than 19, a close, and a volume of 200,000. Okay, and maybe that's why our Darvis boxes aren't working. It almost seems like a lot of my scans, I may have went around and tried to adjust to make them a lot smaller, and in turn made them not work. Okay. And let's see what's on our market senti on the daily. Looks like we've also got some a beta scan that also picks up some stuff there. All right. And here are some of our best gainers for today. Looks like AMC is in the top 10 of them. VTNRs here. All right, look at VTNR. And, oh wow. All right, if it doesn't break this support, we could go for a run. Check that out. And there's another one just below it, so it could try to trick you out by taking you for this support line. All right. Doji, doji, doji. Looks like it's trying to clear the way up and down to create a little bit of move for the market maker. Little liquidity there. All right, and overall, it seems like the bulls have it. Yeah, certainly seems like the bulls have control at the moment. Okay, so VTNR you would have known about had you been with our channel. You would have known about it way back here. All right. In VLRS, let's see. Looks like they're going into a pump and dump cycle too. Nothing real great. Looks like we got FedEx here. All right. Very nice low. Hit our high. Bit of a short. Looks like we're about to end that period, though. Let's hope so. Yeah, looks like that time's about to be over. Push straight across here. And I'm going to say this is probably just a fake out before they take it back up. Let's see if that gives us a valid line across there. I mean, it kind of does. Yeah. Okay. Let's check that for YouTube example. And we've got quite a few stocks on here too. Looks like overstocks there. Fangs there. Okay, lots of them. Let's see if we can tighten that up a little bit. I'd like to see less. So we need to tighten up the one daily, but it looks like here we've got CAR-V, ARPO, Exela, and Apple. And look at what CAR-V did today. Just blew up all the way from 11 to 32. I don't know when this started to happen, but you can see above 0 and kaboom. All right. Now this started what, 1 o'clock? 5 o'clock. So 1 o'clock last night is when it started moving. And we would have to go back through our watch lists and try and find that. Okay. Now from 1085, 11, 12, 15 to 38. Let's see what this one did. And this one had a very nice explosion too. This one went from $1.70 to $3.75. Wow. Nearly doubling monies. Very good. So that's when that pump and dump detector is greater than 0. Okay. So we may even want to know when it's greater than 0.08 or 0. Say 10. All right. Let's check out Exela. Oh, yeah, same stuff. All right. And this is the things that we need to be watching. All right. And let's check out Apple. Looks like, so we can see our signals from here to here. All right. It's not quite time to short Apple yet, but it's getting there. Okay. It's getting there. Looks like it probably is nearly hitting its new high. Now, if this is just a little check back before they take it back on up, that very well could be. Okay. But so far, I'm going to say this is probably the top. This is the support for the next bottom. So let's get rid of all of our drawings on Apple because, yeah, let's do that. Remove our drawings. Clear our drawings. Ole. Alright, and let's take our volume, put it down here, and this is still going to be valid all the way across here. And this level will be valid all the way across here. Let's see if we can find our next level. Looks like there's still one up in between there somewhere, but we'll go with this one. There we go. Looks like there's another level right up in here too. All right. Cool. So now what do we see? We're going to look for bounces in these particular ranges, okay? Maybe even a pullback and a bounce on this line if it takes back off.